Alright, adventurers, welcome to All Play. I'm here with Card Crafters today. Card Crafters is a series where I take cards from the trading card game Magic the Gathering, and I make new cards, I break those cards, or I remix those cards. These are custom cards, so I don't want anyone to think these are real cards to actually use in the game. Not my fault, I have nothing to do with any proxies or anything like that. Okay, so today's card we're going to remix is right below me. It's Rise of the Dark Realms. It is a sorcery from the M14 set, and it costs 7 and 2 black mana. And Rise of the Dark Realms has one ability. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So that means you're getting all of your cards from your graveyard. All of your creature cards from your graveyard, as well as all the creature cards from your opponent's graveyard as well. If you have teammates, you're getting those too. Basically getting all the creatures that have died. It's a nice spell for the Necromancer, Liliana Vest. We're going to remix this card today. I'm going to take this card as it exists now. I'm going to change some things about the abilities. I want to see how balanced I can make it with different types of effects. So we're going to change the cost. We're going to change the abilities. We might even change the card type. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to remix Rise of the Dark Realms. I'm going to keep the same art. I want it to primarily do more or less the same thing. So we're going to start with Rise of the Dark Realms. I'm going to keep it a sorcery. Let's keep it a sorcery for now. And again, the original effect is that it puts all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. So what if you don't get all of them? What if you don't get all of them? How about we put a creature card from each graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Pretty basic, no? I feel like that's as simple as the same idea of this effect can possibly get. Rise of the Dark Realms is a sorcery. It's obviously going to be black. Put a creature card from each graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So instead of getting all the creature cards from all graveyards, I'm getting one creature from my graveyard, one creature from each graveyard of my opponents, and if I have teammates, I'm getting one creature card from there as well. Let's cost this. Obviously, it has to be, not white. It has to be black, obviously. Maybe 2? Maybe 4 and 2 black? 2 and 2 black? Have converted mana cost of 4? That sound about right? This card obviously gets better in the original. I feel like any version of this card will obviously get better with each other player in the game. So, for example, if I'm playing a one-on-one game, me versus just one opponent, I'm only getting 2 cards. I'm only getting 2 creature cards at most from this first version of Rise of the Dark Realms. And from the original, I'm getting creature cards from 2 graveyards. So, I'm kind of limited there. Let's see. How can we make this bigger? How can we make this bigger, but not as big as the original Rise of the Dark Realms? Let's see how we can do that. Let's keep it a sorcery. I'm just gonna take the original, and then we'll fix it. Put all creature cards from all graveyards. I keep missing that E. Onto the battlefield under your control. Did I add that to the last one, under your control? Okay, I did. Okay. So again, I want this to be somewhere between this version of Rise of the Dark Realms and the original version. Let's see. How about I want this one to still cost the same thing and have a bigger effect. Put all creature cards. We're going to change that to put 2 creature cards. What did I do for the second one? Put 2 creature cards from each graveyard. And I guess we can keep this one at all graveyards. Let's go ahead and fix that. From all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Unless Let's see. I feel like I'm about to complicate this. Here's what I want this card to do. I have 2 creatures in my graveyard. You have 2 creatures in your graveyard. I cast Rise of the Dark Realms. And I'm going to go pick the 2 creatures out of your graveyard. But I want you to be able to pay so much mana to prevent me from pulling a creature out of your graveyard. Here's what I want this to do. Okay, I want this to do 2 different things, to be honest. Put a creature card from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control, unless 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want this to go off twice. I want to be able to get 2 creatures. But what I want is there to be a clause. I want this to be a soft, what do they call this? Rebirth? A soft rebirth. I know hard counter and soft counter. I want this to be a soft rebirth. You get to decide whether or not I do it, but you have to pay a certain cost. For the first one, I want you to pay so much mana. The second one, I want you to pay so much life. Does that sound fun? Does that sound fun? Unless... Dang, how do I word this? Okay, so I want... let's do a 3-person game. I have 2 creatures in my graveyard. You have 2 creatures in your graveyard. And then there's another player who has 2 creatures in their graveyard. I want it to be specific. So, like, only you can stop me from forest fires. Only you can stop me from pulling the creature out of your graveyard. Okay. Unless that card's owner... There we go. That's what I was looking for. Unless that card's owner pays, 4 mana? Unless he pays 4 mana. Is that a lot? I feel like that might be a lot. It's when I have to add numbers into the card ability or the rules text. That's when I start to do weird stuff. I'll put it at 3. Unless you pay 3 mana, you can't combat me pulling a creature out your graveyard. Also, unless you pay 3 life. Oops, I should probably add words. Unless that card's owner pays 3 life. I guess now the only thing that makes this weird is that I have to let you know which one's which. Let's use a very specific example. Let's say I want to pull Soul Warden out of your graveyard, and I want to pull, I don't know, Victor. I want to pull Victor out of your graveyard. Enthralling Victor. I want to pull him out of your graveyard for some unknown reason. I need to let you know which one I'm pulling out with which. It matters. Because if I am pulling Victor out with the first ability, with this ability, then the only way you can stop it is by pulling, by paying 3 life, or 3 mana. But if I'm pulling Victor out with this ability, the only way you can stop it is by paying 3 life. So I guess we need to change put a target creature to put a creature needs to be put target creature. And the same thing for the second one. Now that makes it a little bit more confusing. I'm not even gonna lie, I already know this is mythic level. Simply because this is a very specific card on how you do it. But I think I accomplished what I was trying to accomplish. I wanted to keep this same cost, but make it bigger than just pulling out one card. One creature card from each graveyard. Oh, okay, I guess. Okay, let's see. How about this? Okay, so I think there's a formatting problem. It's in both clauses, but we'll look at just the first one. Put target creature from all graveyards. That doesn't make sense, I don't think. So let's see. I think I need to change it back to put a creature card from target graveyard. Target player's graveyard. Target player's graveyard onto the battlefield unless under your control, unless that player pays 3 mana. I think at this point the only Oh, this is hard. This is hard. Okay, the only issue here is I'm not telling you what creature card for the first. I'm looking at just the first ability. I'm not telling you what creature card I'm pulling out until after you've decided whether or not you're paying 3 mana. I think that's the problem. Okay, so we need to go back because I want you to know what you're paying for. Put target creature card from a player's graveyard onto the battlefield unless you under your control, unless that player pays 3 mana. Okay, so now what's going on? Okay, that's fine, I guess. So now you know what card I'm pulling out of your graveyard. Okay, hang on, from each player's. There we go. Because now I'm pulling one card from each. Got it. Okay, so that's the format that the second ability needs to have as well. Unless that player pays 3 life. Okay, so I think I have the wording I want down now. What I want to happen is I'm telling you, hey, I'm going in your graveyard for Soul Warden unless you pay 3 mana, and Enthralling Victor unless you pay 3 life. I think that's what this says. Put target creature card from each player's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control unless that player pays 3 life or 3 mana, and then unless that player pays 3 life. I think I got that the way I want it. That's definitely very mythic level because it's confusing. I'll go ahead and say that it is confusing. Can I make it any more complicated than that? I don't think I can. But I'll take a look at options. Let's go for one more. We can do one more. I'll copy this. Get rid of that. Okay, so we have a version that costs 4, and you're only getting 1 creature card from each graveyard. We have a version that costs 4, and you're getting 2 creature cards from each graveyard unless that player pays to stop it in different ways. I don't want to restrict it at this cost. In fact, I think I'm not going to because let's try for instant. I feel like that's breaking the game. Okay, so at instant speed, I'm going to take the same original text. Put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. All right. So this is instant speed. Obviously, at instant speed, we're not pulling all the creatures out. The game's over. At that point. I'm just waiting for you to slip up, attack. I'm pulling everything back. I'm blocking what I can, and I'm swinging next turn. We can't pull everything out at instant speed. So let's see. Put Put 3 creatures from graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Does that work? Put 3 creature cards from graveyards onto the battlefield. From any graveyard? Is that the right wording? It's either from graveyards or from any graveyard. I'm not sure which one. So at instant speed, put 3 creature cards from any graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. So we had... Let's take a look at our past versions. We have... You get 1 creature card from all graveyards for 4 mana. You have... Put 2 creature cards unless you pay a certain cost for 4 mana. This one you're getting 3. You're guaranteed 3. How about at 3 we go 5 black. Is that right? 7 mana. You get 3 creature cards from any graveyard. Any graveyard. I think it's from. I think it'd be from graveyards. Any graveyard. Sounds like you only get to pick them from 1 graveyard. I think that's worded right. I'm not entirely sure. I think these are the 3 versions we're gonna go with. I'm not gonna try to stretch it anymore. I think I've stretched it as far as it can go right here. All right, so we have 3 different versions of Rise of the Dark Realms. after I do my sign off, I will have each version show up on the screen, and we can take a look at all of them. This is fun. This was challenging. This was very challenging. I'm pretty sure they're not balanced. Go ahead and let me know about the cost, if I should change the cost. I feel like the only part I definitely got was that it has to be black. It's a very black spell. That's going to do it for Card Crafters today. If you guys enjoyed this episode and would love to see more, then all you have to do is hit that red button below this video, the subscribe button. And I'll do my best to make sure we have more episodes of things like Card Crafters, as well as everything else that Altplay has to offer. Thank you for checking this out, and I'll catch you guys later with more here on Altplay. This was fun. Let's do it as a game.